Jack Snack, Rich is not what you have, but who you are. Chapter 11, Sincere. It can be difficult sometimes to tell the difference between sincerity and honesty. This is my definition of sincerity, the willingness to think about the other person rather than oneself during an interaction. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet how often do we find ourselves waiting for someone to stop speaking so that we can say something? Often in that pause, when they have finished speaking, a silence or an acknowledgement of what they have said can create a strong impression of sincerity. I'm updating this book, Life's a Sales Call, because I realized that how I am in my personal relationships directly affects the kind of people who are attracted to me in my business relationships. The more sincere I am with my existing friends, family, and colleagues, the more I will attract people of character and content. Nothing occurs in a vacuum. The way I am is the way I am, regardless of whether it's in my own kitchen or in a corporate boardroom. Fortunately, or unfortunately, in my business of teaching sales, I have to demonstrate my product all day, every day. When I'm out in public, I am never off the clock. Going within. Let me impress you. I've often joked that there's nothing better than a sincere compliment delivered to your significant only, and the operant word is sincere. And if you can fake that, you have made wow, I'm going to start that one again. I've often joked that there's nothing better than a sincere compliment delivered to your significant only, and the operant word is sincere. And if you can fake that, you have made it. You have it made. Just kidding. In reality, I'm sorry, that was so bad. I feel like I need to start that again, but I'm not going to. I'll spare you. In reality, Kimmy and I tend to love on each other. Frequently, though, I'm still not totally comfortable with PDA, public displays of affection. She's mostly the initiator of PPO, Korean for a kiss. And, of course, I reciprocate. However, Kimmy knows that it's just a rote response to her advances, or whether I'm sincerely returning her show of affection and love. We exchange a lot of funny words and phrases that are uniquely ours, and it happens to be our love language. If you can't be sincere in your efforts with those you love, how can you be true to those who don't know you as well? I'll never forget what my mother said to me one day. The quality of your love is measured by the quality of your relationships. When I can maintain sincerity in my most private relationships, then that cohesiveness shines through in me, and I find people approaching me, instinctively wanting to do business with a sincere person. Reaching out, working the room. After years and years of practice in developing my sales skills, I know how to make 150 friends in 24 hours. I am motivated to remember people's names and details about them. I can carry on a conversation with anyone, or I can entertain an entire group. The skill at being sincere in the short term has helped me open many a deal. It's never far from my mind, however, that the ability to keep these customers and have them refer me to others has more to do with my sincerity in the long term. The next step. I'm sure you have some sort of networking activity planned in the next couple of weeks, so let's start with that. As you use your skills to connect to other people and determine their needs, make it a practice to repeat back to other person what you heard about them. Who is this person? What are they passionate about? What have they invested themselves in? Don't stop at finding out that they have a need for your product or services. In a relaxed and focused way, communicate to at least 2 people that you are actually interested in them. The next day, follow up your conversation with a touch that speaks to them as individuals. Find non-sales reasons to stay in touch with your clients. I recommend my Touch 12 system that allows you to make a significant contact with your top centers of influence, COIs, each month. Whether you are informing, educating, entertaining, or recognizing them, make sure that you focus your attention on them monthly. Using your observation skills, you should have a wealth of information about their passions, goals, and dreams to communicate your personal interest in them effectively. At the end of 4 months, take inventory of these relationships. Do they feel solid and alive? Are your relationships growing in depth? Are they reciprocal? Will they lead to new business? Send me an email and let me know the outcome at jack@lifesasalescall.com. Building blocks to successful sales. I'll bet you're wondering right now where your sincerity ranks on a scale of 1 to 10. An easy gauge of our sincerity level with others is an assessment of our COIs. A center of influence is a person with whom you have a deep relationship and who is influential more than persuasive, someone who is significant and not just successful. Now is the time to make a list of these individuals. If the list is short, you are not alone. We are all constantly learning and improving our relationship skills. I couldn't have written this book if I didn't visit the list on a regular basis. Let's take inventory. Whether you have 5 or 25 COIs, you will cultivate those relationships with great attention to the details that we've discussed so far, especially with the maintenance plan, with no reciprocal expectations. Ideally, each person in your trade area who trusts and respects you and your work is a hub in a wheel of influence that reaches to many people. Sincerely nurturing existing relationships is one of the most effective forms of developing new business. Let's take a look at some of the advantages of working with your COIs. 1, when you contact a corporate decision maker directly based on a mutual friendship, you can avoid the red tape and difficult gatekeeping that can occur in a large company. 2, having access to someone is one thing. Having that person emotionally ready to hear what you have to say is another thing altogether. When you are a trusted friend of a trusted friend, then their minds and ears are truly open to what you have to say. 3, your COIs really understand what a great value you are to them and to any business. You don't have to sell them on you. They are happy to help you in most cases, saving you much time and effort. 4, nothing oils a friendship and makes it hum more than allowing one person to be helpful to another. We all like to feel that we are helpful to our friends. Give by receiving from your COIs. 5, when you work with their friends and colleagues, your COIs will be reminded what a great value you are, and they are likely to further engage you as well. In summary, developing your business through your COIs is a cost-effective way to create more business. Keep in mind, sincerity should be the core of all your interactions. If you are honestly engaging people as a concerned human being, then they will know that, and they will respond openly to your requests for names of colleagues in the field of contact. If, however, you have not really had a genuine concern for this person, but rather for your own welfare, they will see right through you. Sincerity with centers of influence is the key that opens other doors. Among your COIs, who do you think has the widest reach to the greatest opportunities? Have you been maintaining that relationship on a regular basis? If you realize that you have not been vigilant in maintaining your COI relationships, now is the time to start. You will need to wait months to try mining those relationships. Everything happens in the perfect time. So if you are not ready, methodically work toward the day when you are. You will know when it's time to try the key in the lock. Let's say you have enough COIs that you feel are strong. You decide to ask them for contact names. Before you make that call, take a minute to think about their relationship with you. What are they getting out of it? How would this individual see you? What strengths do you think they see in you? What weaknesses do they see? Why do they like you? Can you think of a specific person or organization to which you would like this COI to introduce you? Have the name or names in mind so that you can make your request as specific as possible. The more specific the request, the easier it is for your COI to grant it and understand a viable option to it. You still have quite a few more preparation steps before you pick up the phone. Going methodically through the process will ensure its success, so relax and be confident that when you actually do begin to develop your COIs, you will reap the rewards of your careful preparation. I like to come up with a way to thank my COI before I even ask them for a favor. What is their favorite restaurant? What is their favorite team? Be creative in your thank you. That's part of maintaining the relationship. Okay, now you're ready to have a conversation with your COIs. What sort of information about a contact or referred parties would be the most helpful? Off the top of my head, you could probably come up with these. 1, how do you know this person? 2, how long have you known each other? 3, tell me about his or her business. 4, how would you describe the candidate's personality? 5, how do you think I can help the candidate? 6, finally, ask them, what can I do for you? Whatever you may have in mind to thank them can only be improved upon by their own suggestion. Always remember their favorite radio station, WIIFM, or What's in It for Me. Once you've gathered this information from your COI, you're ready to call the referred party and present yourself to them. This can be a little bit tricky. After all, your primary goal is to establish an easy familiarity with the person. In a short period of time, you will need to convey trust, likability, and respect. It doesn't hurt for you to write down a possible outline to use. The more prepared you are, the more relaxed and normal you will feel in asking this person for their business. One possible template includes telling the candidate who you are and where you work. Mention your mutual friend and talk a little bit about how you and the COIs know each other. Hint at a benefit by explaining that the COI had found so much value in the product or service that you present that they referred me to you, thinking that you might be interested in this value as well. Now you have the opportunity to ask if the product or service they are currently using is meeting their needs. Be curious and low-key. Remember that you are a team with your clients, each of you working to find them the best solutions. Hopefully that solution will include you. Be open to the possibility that the solution may not be you, and be prepared to be helpful in any way that you can be. Since your main emphasis is on relationship rather than a sale, you can really focus on the individual. Finally, set up a time to meet. Your only sale at this time should be an appointment, if the referred party is qualified and interested. Take your time to identify, prepare, and contact your COIs. As you work your way down the list with a positive sense of connecting to strong relationships in your life, you will gradually cultivate an ever-widening scope of influence for yourself.